Hi everyone. I'm sorry I'm late to this video, but I'm here because I committed, like you did, if you're watching and if you're playing, to doing 30 poems in 30 days in the month of April during National Poetry Writing Month of this year, 2021, while we are still in a pandemic. And so I want to acknowledge where I'm at and where you're at, as if we are in the same virtual space together, even though we're jumping time. And I want to do a little bit of reflection at the beginning. You can go ahead and skip ahead if you want to get straight to the prompt. But I think that day 12 is a really good time to check in with ourselves about what it means to show up every day to do something, as a practice, as a discipline. Here, we're meeting each other in our artistic discipline, maybe also our personal development discipline. There are so many other types of disciplines. Here today, in this artistic discipline, I want to just share, for me, the experience of showing up every day to your art has been one of the most important and most essential things in my life that has taken me quite a long time. It feels like to learn, even though I feel like I keep learning it over and over and over again, because the truth is, we wake up again every day. We go to sleep and we wake up and we've had dreams and we've had the day happen from the day before, and we have all these thoughts and we have new information, we have media we're consuming, we have relationships we're talking with people, relationships, talking with people about things, ideas, news. It's a lot. Information overload in the digital era is a thing. Um, so here on YouTube, as a new platform on day 12, how interesting is it for me to be reconciling my relationship with technology and screens? Because I think it's a balance of having a little bit of screen time, and that's how we are transmitting ourselves and our ideas and our words to each other during this time. And going forward, I think this is going to be a continued method and mode of transmitting information. Anyway, so thinking about the information that I would like to transmit right now is a feeling of keeping it going. So, keeping it going, no matter what it takes to get us back to the space where we are clear and open and grounded, even if that means faking it a little sometimes, or showing up when we don't want to, or facing a block or a fear that has come up for us in order to move forward. That's what I've spent my morning doing, in full transparency, which is why I'm a bit late. Um, and what I'm feeling is the call to share, a little bit briefly just about that, because as we are on our artistic journeys, whatever that might look like for us, whatever our goals or our motivations are, wherever we're meeting each other in the creative process, I just want to acknowledge that we are all in the creative process all the time, whether we are actually producing and creating in the moment, or whether we are absorbing and downloading in the moment, whether we are practicing articulating in the moment. This is me practicing in public in my artistic practice. And I just want to appreciate you uh, practicing in your way here with me. And with that, I feel the connection. So thank you for being here. We're just some writers doing some marks on a page. Of course, there's a lot more to it than that, but let's be in that moment, ready to mark, make some marks on the page or on your screen and your laptop or whatnot. And I have a very quick prompt, actually, because I'm chattering a bit about processing and the creative processing. Here we go. A very simple but beautiful poem by Emily Dickinson, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with. Here we go. Again, these are 30 poems that have changed me. We're on day 12. Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. Okay, reading that out loud feels good, by the way. I recommend it if you want to do that. So, da 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 da. Let's start with a very quick write. Make a list of abstract states of being that feel resonant to you right now. So, a state of being, like an emotion or a state of consciousness, like as we saw in the poem, hope. Could be boredom, anger, joy, rage, whatever it is. And it doesn't have to necessarily be like what you're feeling, just do you have some kind of relationship to it in any way? And make as many as you can. And I would say give yourself 2 minutes or until you feel done and then come back. Oops. Okay. Welcome back. Quick write step number 2. Now that you have your list of different states of being or abstract concepts, emotions, next to each one, write down the first thought that comes to mind about what animal that would be. So, like, hope is a thing with feathers that we can imagine as a bird, like grief is a tortoise, what first thought, best thought, every single one. No judgment. Oh my gosh, I forgot to read our writing mantra today. See, that's how out of it I am. Well, hopefully my introduction to this video served as sort of a setting the tone. I feel like it did. So we're just going to keep moving. Okay, so first thought, best thought, make your list, come back. Welcome back. Okay, here we go. Here we've got some options. If you are pressed for time, this could be your last step. So free write, choose one of your abstract concept equals animal pairings to focus on. Whichever one you feel is like the most interesting, the most resonant to you today. And just free write for 5 minutes describing that thing. For example, grief is a tortoise. How would I describe that? What does it look like specifically? What are its motivations? But then what, in the metaphorical sense, what does it do? How does it act towards you? If grief is a tortoise, what's my relationship to it? So there's so much you can explore. Is it a pet? Is it a wild animal? Whatever really comes to your mind just from your phrase. Go ahead and free write into that. Give yourself free reign to have some fun imagining this concept as a creature or whatever is coming to you. Okay, and then if you want to go a little bit further, I have another step that's optional, and so I'll leave you to it. Okay, if you would like to, like I said, maybe that free write was your poem. There's plenty to just get from that. If you want to take it one step further, you can take your details from your free write and make a personification poem more intentionally. I mean, really what you did was already doing that. But if you want to, for example, clean it up, right, and kind of take what naturally came out organically in your free write and give it a little more structure, a little more intentionality, basically taking it to a next sort of draft step. That's just simply a deeper option for you. So, wherever you're at today, if you are kind of like burning out on writing a poem a day, or you're feeling tired, but you are showing up for yourself, just be done right now if you want and say, great, I did like a prose poem, free write, cool. And if you are feeling energized or inspired, yeah, go ahead, take it maybe whatever direction the next step would be for you. And then I just have a very, very brief moment with Emily Dickinson. And my brief moment with Emily Dickinson is simply to say a few quick bullet points. I'm sure everybody has heard of Emily Dickinson. I feel confident that every single person who is watching this video has heard of Emily Dickinson, if not read her work. So briefly, Emily Dickinson was born, she lived from 1830, okay, until 1886, like more than a century ago, almost 150 years ago, if my brain math is happening right. But here's what I will say. Poetry has a biography of her which opens with the line, Emily Dickinson is one of America's greatest and most original poets of all time. So that pretty much sums it up. Um, then, if you want, you can read like the next 17 pages on the link in the description I'm going to give you to learn as much as you want to learn about Emily Dickinson. I am not a scholar. I just know that reading that poem for me, as well as a few of her other poems, but that poem in particular has stuck with me since I encountered it. And it is one of those that's famous. So I do encounter it, I've encountered it many times over the years. But hope is the thing with feathers. There's something so simple, so profound about that line that has never left my consciousness. And for that, Emily Dickinson, I am grateful, because especially during times of difficulty, despair, challenge, mental health days, society awareness days, whatever it might be, hope is something I keep coming back to over and over again. Showing up to this video today is me enacting intentionally a sense of hope and feeling it, and hopefully sharing it through this poem with you as you go through your life with your challenges and triumphs, your despairs and your joys. That's actually a friend calling me, and I'm going to go talk to her right now. So I hope you enjoyed this. By the way, I love Emily Dickinson and her M dashes. Nope, that was a scam call. Never mind. My friend is going to call me in just a moment. So I'm wrapping this up. I am sending you love. I am feeling the hope that comes after the dread, whatever that might be on any given day. Did I say M dashes? Emily Dickinson is like the queen of M dashes. So that's another thing I love. Anyway, please take good care of your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and artistic self. Thank you so much for your patience with me and this video, and I will see you tomorrow. I will see you then.